In the 1980 case, Central Hudson Gas and Electric versus Public Service Commission of New York, 447 U.S. 557, Central Hudson Gas and Electric files a suit claiming that the Public Service Commission of New York's decision to ban advertisements encouraging the use of energy violates the First Amendment and the 14th Amendment. After the 1973 oil embargo, the Public Service Commission of New York searched for ways to cut down on energy usage. In response to the oil embargo, the Commission chose to reduce energy consumption by banning advertisements that promote energy usage and encourage the public to buy electric utilities. Central Hudson Gas and Electric filed a suit claiming that the ban violates the company's right to freedom of commercial speech as given by the First and the 14th Amendments. The case was heard in trial court and the Court of Appeals of New York. Both courts upheld the ban instituted by the Public Service Commission of New York, saying that energy conservation was more important. The courts expressed the idea that since people typically have no say in which company supplies their electricity, advertising would be almost useless to the company and would only make the energy crisis worse. The case was then moved to the U.S. Supreme Court. The legal issues in this case are: can the government regulate commercial speech? And is there a restriction on how much the government can regulate commercial speech that is deemed necessary to regulate? The holdings of this case are that the government can in fact regulate commercial speech if it has a significant enough reason to regulate it, and that the government cannot regulate commercial speech any more than absolutely necessary. The reasoning presented is as follows. The government does not have total power to regulate commercial speech, and that there must be a legitimate reason for the regulation. As established by Virginia Pharmacy Board versus Virginia Citizens Consumer Council, the government cannot regulate commercial speech any more than absolutely necessary. This limits the government's power. When a reason for regulation is found, the regulation cannot violate the First Amendment and the 14th Amendment concerning the company's right to freedom of speech. Ultimately, the court ruled that the Public Service Commission of New York's ban on promotional advertisements that encourage energy consumption was unconstitutional, violating the First Amendment right to freedom of speech. The court decided that the Public Service Commission of New York's ban and regulation of Central Hudson Gas and Electric's commercial speech was too extensive for its purposes of cutting down on energy usage.